Hey everybody, Don here, your pop culture boy, aka your pop culture grandpapa. We are gathered here today to talk about Tyla, the vivacious, fiery South African artist who is loved by many and hated by what seems like a lot more. She is dubbed a mean girl, a brat, and an uppity African after flooding the landscape with her global hit, Water. I've mentioned Tyla in a few of my videos before, but I've never done like a dedicated video on Homegirl. In the past, I've always felt like she is heavily discussed on the internet already, and I didn't have much to add. I never had that burning desire to make a dedicated video about her. You know, that feeling you get in your pants after a one night stand. Yeah, I never had that until now. So for this video, let's talk about Tyla, more specifically, in my opinion, the unnecessary hate and hostility towards the singer. I'll dive deep into her career, i.e. her come up of course, and the main reasons as to why some people hate her, while also raising the question, is her hate justified? I'll also talk about the unique position the singer is in this current climate in pop culture that's affecting her ability to thrive. Not that she's not thriving, you know what I mean. And I'll also address the word animosity Tyla gets from some Black Americans, as the hate Tyla gets is a part of a larger issue. I am Donnie Pop Culture Boy, let's get into it.
Catastrophic.
Now, before we dive into the meat and potatoes, let's start with Tyla's come up. In 2002, Tyla was born in Edenville, Gauteng being one of the 9 provinces in South Africa. However, the singer grew up in the city of Johannesburg. A lot of us were introduced to Tyla through her song Water, released in 2023, and think that's her first song. But Homegirl had a few tracks out before that. Based on what I've gathered while researching for this video, Tyla really started pursuing a career in music in her final year of high school. She started working on her social media presence as an artist and was discovered from her videos posted on Instagram by her first manager, Garth Von Glenn, who Tyla initially took for a scammer. After that, Garth enrolled Tyla in an artist development program. This connection was the first major milestone in Tyla's career, as this led to the release of Tyla's first song, Getting Late, released in 2019, which put a lot of eyes on the South African artist, especially after the accompanying music video was released in 2021. That same year, she signed a joint deal with Epic Records through her mother label, Fax Records. Tyla's team knew they had a star on their hands and continued to project her in the industry, getting her interviews, live in studio performances, and of course releasing more singles, building her catalog. Which brings us to the year 2022, the year I was introduced to the singer through her I'm a Piano R&B track, To Last. A nice song, but it definitely wasn't the one that would make her go worldwide. Despite the fact that we all know Tyla today and her wanting to be a big star since she was a child. Like most people that garner colossal fame, she didn't really think it would actually happen. But that all changed in the summer of 2023 with the release of her song, you guessed it, Water, which blew up due to its viral water running down your back while shaking ass dance challenge on TikTok. By the fall of 2023, the song became inescapable, peaking in the top 10 of several countries, including the United States, where it peaked at number 7, making Tyla the youngest and first solo South African artist to enter the Hot 100 in 55 years. She also was the first waterbender to accomplish this as well. Due to the success of the track, the singer has been elevated in the music industry and in pop culture as one of Gen Z's artists to watch. And for Tyla, it's been smooth sailing ever since. Well,
psych! Y'all know what's it.
Now, here's where things started to get shaky for Tyla, or when the hostility towards her took the fuck off, like the fastest man alive, Usain Bolt. Back in 2020, Tyla posted a video on her TikTok. In the video, Tyla is doing her hair in the Bantu knot style. I'm a colored South African, she wrote in the text posted over the video, which means I come from a lot of different cultures. I'm exploring my African heritage by wearing Bantu knots. Again, this was in 2020, prior her worldwide breakthrough. And in the comments, people are spamming with support and confusion on TikTok. I couldn't filter the comments, maybe that's because I was on the desktop version, but I'm assuming she got a little hate then. Online arguments and controversy about Tyla referring to herself as colored only grew stronger in the following years. Also, in 2023, Tyla did an interview where she explained that in South Africa, her race is colored.
Like, in South Africa, my race is called colored. And it's a very stressful term to use in America because I know it's a derogatory term.
Right.
But I mean, that's what we are called in South Africa.
personally. Before Tyla, I had no idea that colored was used to describe mixed race people in South Africa. And I'm letting y'all know this because I watched a lot of videos where some South Africans were saying Black Americans were ignorant and the world doesn't revolve around them, implying that it's only Black Americans that didn't know about this, when that's just not true. I'm sure some Black people in the Caribbean or from the UK had no idea either. Oh, and also, there was the Breakfast Club situation where Charlemagne the God asked Tyla to explain the colored thing, which made her super uncomfortable, as her publicist had to step in for her. That also added more fire to the Tyla distancing herself from being Black narrative, prompting the artist to address the whole thing on social media in this note right here. Now, I want to give my take on this colored identity in South Africa thing, and before I do, I want to say that I don't really have an issue with it, and I'm not trying to disrespect anyone's culture or racial identity. I read a lot of comments and watched a lot of videos with people explaining that, hey, this is just how South Africans categorize mixed or biracial people. Now, this only sparked intrigue in my mind, so I did some research on the whole colored thing. And contrary to some South Africans and some Black Americans saying colored is completely different and has different historical attributes with no similarities whatsoever, is just not true. Colored came about in segregation and oppression in both countries. Based on research I've done, the 1950 Population Registration Act forced all South Africans to register as native, colored, or white, with Asian added later. Those bludgeoned together as colored included indigenous Khoi and Sand people, the descendants of enslaved people from other parts of Africa, Indonesia, and Malaysia, and families with mixed race heritage. Basically, the Population Registration Act, which got abolished in 1991, made people that were multiracial identify as colored so that they weren't grouped with the white people. It was a strategy to divide and rule colored and Black South Africans, with the apartheid regime doling out slightly better jobs, houses, and other benefits to colored people. Even today, many colored South Africans continue to reject being called Black. And I got all of this from an article by The Guardian titled Why Tyla's Racial Identity Has Rallied South Africans Behind Colored Communities. And there's other research out there that corroborate this article as well. Now, what I think the main issue non-colored people or Black people outside South Africa have with this is that historically, whatever that is closest to white is always treated better, which instills this superiority thing. Example, house slaves versus slaves that worked in the fields. House slaves were treated better and they thought they were better than the other slaves. I feel like grace should be extended to non-South Africans who are genuinely confused by the colored racial identity in South Africa and who are also not in agreement with it because of the historical implications, as coloreds were seen as better than full Black South Africans. I feel like most Black Americans' issue was that some mixed race people who are part Black and others may have a racial superiority complex. I didn't see a lot of people acknowledging that. I get both sides. On one hand, outsiders are like, the term came about in oppression and segregation. It was also abolished, but y'all still hold on to it. Why? And on the other hand, colors are like, well, all my life this is how I was brought up. I want to know how non-colored people in South Africa feel about this whole colored thing. Please let me know in the comment section. And also, be honest. No need to hold back. There's a lot of things that are playing against Tyla's ability to connect or keep her connection with her American audience, and a lot of it is beyond her control. There is a larger issue at play here, and in addition to the colored thing, which is beyond her control, there is also this African American versus African thing going on. And I'm seeing this on social media, Black Americans talking badly about Africans and vice versa. And it makes no sense. This also has some political undertones as well. There is just a lot of resentment from both sides, and this conquer and divide push thing happening, and I don't like it at all. And I know this topic is way bigger than this video, but I also want to touch on this for a minute, as I believe this Black diaspora war is affecting Tyla, or affecting Tyla's career in the US market. In 2023, news that Nigerian artist Burna Boy said that Black Americans have no culture spread like wildfire on social media. Now, the thing is, Burna Boy never said that, but needless to say, it caused this debate online about how he steals from American culture, and a bunch of nonsense. According to Complex, the drama began back in March 2023 when activist Shaka Bars asked Burna Boy, why is it important that the diaspora come home? The I Told Them artist argued that unlike other American minority groups, African Americans lack ties with their homeland. So to break it down, all Burna Boy said was that some African Americans, because it couldn't be no way in hell he meant all Americans, lack ties to Africa. He continued to explain that the Chinese know where to go, this group knows where to go, but a lot of Black Americans, for the most part, do not know where their roots lie in Africa. That's all. And it's sad that to this day, people are still saying he made that statement that African Americans have no culture, and it's just not true. When Tyla was introduced to the masses with her viral hit Water in 2023, her status elevated times 100 in the public's eye. She transitioned from mainstream to superstar status in a short period and hit career-defining milestones. Her song Water, that racked in millions of views on YouTube. She linked with Travis Scott on the remix, resulting in her getting stamps of approval by the industry, getting huge endorsement deals, attending the Met Gala, and winning a Grammy, handling big business. Fuck the Grammys, by the way. She accomplished so much with one song. So naturally, people would label her a plant as a way to dismiss her success as something that was not natural or paid for. As I explained earlier, Tyla worked hard and she deserves her success. Now, did she get here kind of quick? Sure, but what of it? And if you've been on my channel before, you know I strongly believe that industry plant is a stupid term and makes no sense. I made a video about it. Go check it out. You know, I feel like right now in this time we live in, people have a problem with others' success more than ever. But yeah, people label Tyla a plant in an effort to discredit her as a real artist, which I also believe is rooted in the animosity towards her. We even had Blac Chyna's mom calling her a plant. Watch this.
You just came from anywhere, and so is the other girl. Give me sweat, whatever, make me hot.
Not Tyla. Come on, that sounds like just a little bitty girl who just they wrote some songs for, and damn, not Tyla.
Plants. Give her. Watch this. What's this? March, February next year. Cold-blooded freak.
Damn.
Turned all the way out. Watch. One song gave you a Grammy, but you got people like Angie Stone that been around since I was 10 years old, being a rapper, never got one.
Hey.
How's that possible? You walk right in, the song still on the fucking radio hot, you got a Grammy. How they do that?
That's true.
How did you get that? How did they even do a audit on it, or what you call it? Where you? No, you can't.
Yeah,
that's
you're
crazy.
right. So industry plants exist.
I just named it.
Yeah, you named them because.
Tyla is one of the most hated artists on the net. Everything she does is heavily criticized and is over the dumbest shit. At this year's VMAs, Tyla won Best Afrobeats, and while accepting her award, presented by Halle Bailey and Lil Nas X, she asked them to hold her award for her.
You guys know me and holding awards. I'm not strong enough. Yes, please. Oh, you for me. Yes, thank you. I'm sorry.
And this caused controversy online for Tyla. Many said the singer had a stank attitude and that she's an uppity African. Now, I don't know if people are not used to watching award shows anymore due to the pandemic, but this is nothing new. In the past, many award winners have done this in the past, and no fucks were given.
I don't want this to slip and break because it's very important to me. Thank you so much. She's so supportive. We all need someone like that.
However, this time, people had an issue with it, and the internet turned into a Tyla versus Halle Bailey situation when Tyla never mentioned Halle's name. Online, some were saying, oh, Tyla was rude and that she didn't take the envelope from Halle, when usually the envelope is not handed to the winners during their speech. And by the time Tyla reached her handout, Halle had already walked off with the envelope. In my opinion, there was no controversy. This was a case of the internet being bored like they're a 1,000-year-old vampires. Only vampires turn minuscule things into major plots because they cannot die and have all the time in the world to be assholes. Like Klaus from Vampire Diaries, which I stopped watching at season 5 episode 8. People were also on Tyla's ass days prior. So what had happened was Tyla was in attendance at one of Usher's concerts, and Usher had this thing where he would dance with other female celebrities in the audience, serenading. The issue was while Usher and Tyla were dancing, Tyla backed off from Usher because he was trying to get behind her. Now, apparently she has a boyfriend. That being the case or not, she did nothing wrong. And it's not like she did a stank face or anything. She maneuvered gracefully. As a man, if you get let down in that fashion, you would be very grateful because that could have played out a lot worse for him. And she would still be in the right. Kind of like the situation that is playing out right now where this actress, she is like cursing out this guy on social media. He's also an actor who plays, I think, Miles, the Spider-Man animated series, whatever. I'm not sure, but it's like the cartoon Spider-Man. Anyway, she's like cursing his ass out because he keeps posting her pictures online and she is engaged. And we also see how no one's giving her any shit about it because she's in her right. Listen, if I were Usher, I would go for the sister because Tyla's sister was ready, throwing it back, and she's way thicker versus Tyla, who only wanted to, tango 6 feet apart. Anyway, people were like, oh my god, why is she running from Usher? She doesn't understand American culture. Meanwhile, months prior when Keke Palmer danced and grind on Usher, she was dragged. And on the other hand, when he got noticeably shut down by Mary J. Blige, no one said anything.
But I felt like this before the VMAs, by the way, because she popped up at the Barclays in support of Usher.
Yes, I saw that.
And when Usher attempted to do his showmanship dance while her record is playing, come on, we in front of 20,000 people, let's get in our bag. She dubbed him.
They say there's a reason for it.
I don't give a fuck what the reason is.
The reason is that she's got a man.
I don't give a fuck about your man.
Okay, so the reason
I'm not out of line. You on this stage. Usher got a girl.
Okay,
so what,
true.
nigga?
Well,
everybody's parameters is different.
Yeah. And he was coming up behind her, trying to whine on her.
Y'all preach your ideals somewhere else. We in front of 20,000 people right now.
So you saying somebody should go?
Your album came out. I'm telling you what I'm saying. Don't step on what I'm saying. I'm telling you what I'm saying.
That sounds dumb.
I'm telling you what I'm saying. Your album came out ages ago. There's mad money being spent on putting you where you need to be seen properly. Usher Raymond does not have to bring your little new artist ass on stage. He don't.
She was in the crowd. They was in the crowd.
I don't give a fuck where she was. Tell that shit to your group chat. Once you hit the stage and you are a performer and your song is on and a legend is trying to highlight you, there is a way to do that do-si-do shit that she did. She did it in a way that looked real nasty, and I thought this before the VMA.
Pipe down, bitch. Pipe down.
When Tyla wore a dress similar to that Aaliyah once wore, people were also mad, saying she's imitating American artists. Ever since Tyla blew up, the conversation that's attached to her the most is that she's Rihanna coded, which basically means she follows the Rihanna blueprint or she copies Rihanna. Now for those who like to say this, y'all do realize that Rihanna is from Barbados. And I'm not saying there is this illusion that Rihanna is American. What I'm saying is Bajans have ties to Africa. So in relation to their dance styles, their attitudes, aka their vibe/swag, and the way they verbally express themselves, there will be similarities, strong similarities. Recently, I'm seeing people doing the same thing with Beyonce, saying Tyla in her Push to Start music video copies Beyonce's Baby Boy. Listen, Rihanna and Beyonce did not create anything. They all take things and traits that have been passed down to them from their ancestors that traces back to Africa, Tyla's homeland. And don't get me wrong, some people do copy, but the conversation that Tyla copies Rihanna and Beyonce is forced. Just say you don't like the girl because she's pretty, unapologetic, full of attitude, and confident. The same reason y'all decide to love Rihanna for. Tyla finds herself in a unique position in this pop climate. Right now we are in this era of be chill, be cool, be dead inside, be authentic, but don't show out. And here enters Tyla. She doesn't fit what a pop star should be in the US at the moment. Some are saying she's not humble for a new artist, but these are the same people that would also say that's how white media wants you to be. Humble, be gracious, that you are in the room. And Tyla is like, fuck that, I'm here, and I'm here to take everything, as she should. And it's pissing a lot of people off.
I want to do it all. Like, I want to act, I want to do fashion, makeup, I want to take over. Tyla, take over.
In my opinion, Tyla is a reminder of what Hollywood used to be. She's very va-va-voom. The animosity this girl gets is not justified. It's downright stupid, ignorant, and malicious. Like most artists on the rise, they have to overcome obstacles, traps that are set to snuff them out, before they can really execute their purpose in the music industry. And that's it. Beyonce went through it. Rihanna went went through it, and if Tyla stays on her trek to success, she will overcome, and if she's lucky enough, new obstacles will be laid out in her path. What do you think? I'm Don, your pop culture boy, and I will see you in the next one.